Pantherize extinction from the part of the glades where the last sloughs of cypress stand to be saved. It's a habitat remainder, not much that's left, just the last screams of panthers squalling for help. The last screams of panthers squalling for help.
In the early days of Florida's development, hundreds of Florida panthers experienced persecution at the hands of eager hunters. In March of 1967, the United States Fish and Wildlife Service recognized the animal's plight and designated the species as endangered. In the mid-70s, through field observations and radio telemetry information, wildlife officials estimated only 30 to 50 of these large cats survive, making the Florida panther one of the most endangered species in the world. While hunting may have been the chief cause of death in the early settlement years, current panther deaths and troubles can be attributed primarily to highway mortalities, encroachment on panther territory, and loss of habitat. Dennis Jordan is the coordinator for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's recovery efforts for the Florida panther.
Road mortality, animals, panthers that are killed crossing major highways, is the number one known source of mortality or death in the Florida panther. And over the past 10 years, 12 to 15 animals have been hit, 12 to 15 panthers have been hit crossing roadways. Alligator Alley is a major roadway, State Route 84, that crosses the heart of the panther habitat in South Florida. And this highway is one of the major problem highways in the mortality situation. This highway is currently being converted to become part of the Interstate 75 system. So during the design and planning stages, through the consultation process with the Fish and Wildlife Service under the Endangered Species Act, the roadway was designed to have wildlife underpasses constructed at strategic points along the highway.
Jordan says in 1992, when the I-75 expansion project is complete, the highway system will have 36 wildlife crossings like this one. Wildlife officials have already reported that at least one panther has used one of the crossings on more than one occasion. Not all of the panthers hit on roadways die. This male subadult that's come to be known as Big Guy mated, but he didn't escape unscathed.
This is a lateral body view, an X-ray or radiograph showing the right femur. Here's the proximal fragment.
Dr. George Coleus, a specialist in wildlife and zoological medicine at the University of Florida's College of Veterinary Medicine and Teaching Hospital, flew down to Naples to make an assessment of the cat's injuries.
At that point, we knew that there was some evidence of trauma to his lungs, and also he had two fractures involving both of the long bones of the leg, or the femurs, and also some of the bones in the foot, the metatarsal bones.
Dr. Coleus says Big Guy has become one of the most radiographed panthers in existence.
This is a post-operative radiograph showing one of the long bone stainless steel compression plates that was put on the femur. And this is actually several weeks post-op, where we can see on the anterior posterior view where there's good callus formation here with the healing femur, and then you can also see in this view the stainless steel screws that are actually going through the bone, and then the plate which is used to compress the fracture.
Since Big Guy's life-saving treatment in 1984, several injured panthers like this one have received medical care at the University of Florida's Veterinary Teaching Hospital. Most panthers end up in surgery to repair broken bones and fractures. The Veterinary College's pathology department also handles necropsies on panthers found dead in the woods or by highways. Big Guy just happens to be one of the lucky ones.
Big Guy healed from his injuries, but wildlife officials determined that he would never again make it in the wild. So they brought him here to the White Oak Plantation north of Jacksonville to be used as part of the captive breeding program.
The Gilman Paper Company owns and operates the plantation, which is dedicated to helping endangered species that are having problems reproducing. It's Diane Krug's job to take care of Big Guy, as well as some other Texas and Florida cats and carnivores in captivity.
Well, with the cougars, our main responsibilities, of course, are to feed and to do observations, behavioral observations. There's quite a bit known about them in the wild. We know that the males are solitary and so are the females, and when they come together it's just to breed, and the females take care of the kittens. What we've seen with Big Guy so far is he tends to cohabitate the best with the female we have him in with right now. We've tried him with the other Texas cats, and we have seen no type of breeding interest in him for the other females except for Tarna. As far as observations on breeding, I think it's pretty classic. I mean, it's what you would normally see in the wild. You got footage of the Fleming response when a female is in heat or coming in the heat. The male will pick up on her scent where she's urinated and then give off a Fleming response. Raises the head, opens the mouth. We've seen that quite a bit.
Given the extent of Big Guy's injuries in 1984, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Panther Coordinator Jordan says this cat may not ever be released again in the wild, but he may live on through many of the reproductive techniques wildlife officials have started to research.
He is like the typical male Florida panther in that he has 90 to 95% abnormal sperm, but he does have some viable sperm. They've collected sperm and analyzed it, and they do have some of his sperm in the sperm bank in storage. So he can contribute. His genetic material will still be available to be used in the captive breeding program. So his genetic representation can be salvaged, and we hope can be used and will be used. And in fact, in the in vitro fertilization experiments that were conducted last year, his sperm actually was some sperm that resulted in one of the 10 embryos that was being developed.
Panthers in the wild may also contribute to reproductive efforts currently being researched. Here, Florida Game and Freshwater Fish Commission personnel have tracked down a radio-collared panther. He's immobilized with a tranquilizer. Once they can safely lower him to the ground, they'll quickly record vital statistics and collect blood, fecal material, urine, and skin samples. In the near future, wildlife experts may soon start collecting sperm from the males and eggs from the females for in vitro fertilization and artificial insemination efforts as part of the recovery plan. The main objective, says Jordan, is to end up with at least 3 viable self-sustaining panther populations within the animal's historic range. Jordan says the biggest hurdle wildlife officials face now is time.
How much time we have left is really not known. We continue to lose panthers every year for various reasons, for road mortality. Just recently we had a panther die within the Everglades system that potentially could have died from mercury poisoning. So it's a very involved process involving habitat preservation, learning more about the needs of the panthers through the studying that's being taken, the reintroduction process, learning more about the diseases that are involved. So it's a lot of things happening at one time.
Fast cars on the roads across the Everglades cause the panthers to die, but the human concern makes the difference in the survival of Big Guy. But the human concern makes the difference in the survival of Big Guy.
I'm Donna Green-Townsend reporting on Florida File.